Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about how we can use the Update Selections tool to make updates to large groups of courses, students, teachers, different items at a time within PowerScheduler. So the first thing we're going to do is go down under Applications and select PowerScheduler. So one of our first scenarios that we're going to look at is if I've copied over a master schedule and I need to update several different courses, terms that are offered, I can do that without having to go in individually to each course and associate those new terms. So when I'm working with a course catalog or something of that nature, it's important that I grab that course catalog number or remember that number first. So you're going to want to see which catalog you're working with. So my number is 151. If I'm on another page, I can also go to course catalogs. And this number in the parentheses here is the course catalog that I'm working with. So if I'm updating courses, I only want to update for 23-24's catalog. So to find update selections, I'm going to go down under Tools and select Functions. Under Functions, the very last option is going to be Update Selections. When I get to this screen, I have a current table, and my screen is already selected Schedule Course Catalogs because that was what I was doing previously, but you can make a different selection. So you have several different options here. So I'm going to show you an example with Schedule Course Catalogs first, but you also have students, teachers, and all of your scheduling parameters and options. So I'm going to do Schedule Course Catalogs, and I want to select all of the records in the school. However, if you remember, I said it was important to only work with the course catalog ID for the year I'm working with, currently 23-24. So I want to make sure that I'm only working with those records. So I'm going to go down here to my search option, and I'm going to do course catalog ID equals 151. That was the number in parentheses for my course catalog earlier. And I'm going to search within those records. So now you'll see I have 332. So those are my courses within my catalog that I'm currently using for 23-24. So if I needed to update them all at the same time, I could do that. Or I could continue narrowing down my search. I have some options here. I could do select records by hand. If I do that, it gives me a new screen with a list of all of the courses, and I can hold down my control key to make selections as needed. I can make all of my selections for a certain group that I need, and then I can click Submit. And now you'll see that only 8 records are in my selection, so only the 8 I selected. Okay, what if I then needed to do another search and find maybe all of my courses? So if we go back, if I select all of my records, I'm going back to my original number, and then I go to course catalog ID equals 151 and search. Again, I've got my 332. Now I could perform a search and say my course name contains English. And I want to search within the current records only. And now I have 22 courses that meet my English search method. Once I have the courses in my selection, I can check and make sure by going to my list view. And it'll show me all of these courses are English. They have English in the name. And then I can go back to Update Selections. Those 22 are still there. So now I have the option to modify my records. So if I click on Modify Records, I can change any of the items in this drop-down box for all 22 of those courses in my catalog at the same time. So let's say I want to change the terms offered. Maybe it's currently a full year term and I want to change it to semester 1, semester 2. And I can make that change there, click Modify Selected Records, and confirm. And now all of those records in that selection have been updated. And so again, you have several different tables that you can choose from where you can make different changes. Once you select your item, be sure to narrow down your search further, especially when we're working with, for example, course catalogs. We want to find that ID. And then we can, when we have our item, modify the records en masse. So let's look at another example. What if I want to assign departments to all of my rooms, but I don't want to go into each individual room and do that? I could use this option again. My current table would be Schedule Rooms. And I would want to select all the records. So these are the records of rooms I have in my school. Now in this one, you wouldn't have to worry about a certain year, but you could search for certain rooms or you can select the records by hand. And let's say all of these rooms here, 103 to 110, are part of my English department. So I can select those, click Submit. And then here in my option, I can go to Modify Records. And I can change this to Department equals English. And I can make that change. Another option when looking at scheduling rooms would be to update room maximums or any other items. So you could select the records that you need. You could search by hand, or if you have departments set up or facilities, those kind of items, you could search through those. So I'm going to select my records by hand. And I'm going to say these items, I need to update my room maximum. So I'm going to click Submit. And I'm going to go over here and click Modify Records. And now I can change the room maximum to be 35. And I can click Modify and Confirm. And all of those rooms maximum would now be 35. So this Update Selections tool is going to be very helpful. Any of your tables here, you can alter information in. Once you select a table, you're then going to want to select all of the records first. And then you can narrow this information down by searching for certain groups of students. Make sure that if you are using information that changes from year to year, like a course catalog, that you're using the correct ID. You can select your records by hand or again use that search, and then you can modify records as needed. So hopefully you'll use this update selection tool to prevent you from having to go into every single item that needs to be updated at once individually. You can do it all at once.